you ready for this?
Now we'll give people another couple of minutes to join in.
You do that.
I will do that.
I've even plugged my yoke and pedals in for this flight tonight.
Glad to hear it. We want you taking it seriously.
I wonder what they're doing with Robin Hood's airport now they've closed.
I thought there was something a couple of, maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, the council were planning on reopening it as an airport, but they weren't sure how.
Yeah.
So what's happening to the Vulcan then?
I'm not sure.
Is it stuck there?
Well, it'd
It-
cost
well-
a fortune to move it, wouldn't it? To strip it down and transport it anyway.
I think they were going to chop the wings off it last time.
Well, they do that, I'll never run the engines again.
Might as well taxi out the runway, might we?
They should have took it to Elvington on its last flight and could have joined the Victor tanker.
I think Elvington's got his problems at the moment, hasn't it?
I don't know. But they have a Victor, and I think they used to do static runs up and down their runway.
Well, the Elvington Victor famously managed to get a little bit of air, didn't it, a few years ago? Got a few people in trouble.
I thought that was somewhere else where
They
one
got a
took
bit
off.
excited with it.
I thought that was the Elvington one, I may be wrong.
And I just started the engines and here's the engine comes back. Mark, can you...
Margaret, I'll have a double one with a flake, please. Or and if they do sauce, I'll have strawberry.
Alright, strawberry as well, yeah. So strawberry double with flake.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll enjoy eating that for you.
Oh, that's been.
So what aircraft are you in, Alex, at the moment?
I'm in the this one. Yeah, Halifax.
Halifax, which one?
The one on the right.
The one on the right?
One that's stopped.
The one that's right in front of me, TLS?
Yeah, they're both TLS by the looks of it. Let me see if I can
shit.
change.
They should have gone for the yellow leather. Can't speak. The yellow colour scheme what the Liberator's in. We'll be able to spot you.
Now, there's only one paint scheme for this.
Not if you got it in our hangar, they wouldn't know.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh no, am I using Elijah's version?
You're using Elijah's version.
Right, well, is everybody ready for a briefing?
Yes, until my screen comes.
Okay, well, good evening,
Yep, ready.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the world, whoever you may be. Flight night on this wonderful Saturday evening, or not evening, depending on where you are. We're going to be going and exploring some of the World War II bomber fields that are around the country of England, and hopefully spotting some of them, the ones that still exist. And if you've got the orthos, you might even be able to see some of the ones that aren't. So, information about the flight. We're going to be taking off from here and heading north towards York direction. Our heading is going to be somewhere around 348 degrees after we depart. We'll stay get on there quite quickly because right now we're facing in the wrong direction. We're going to be aiming for about 150 knots and about 1200 feet so we can see everything. Time of day is noon and border of a high pressure region, so we can see stuff because we don't want to miss things out, do we? Any questions so far?
Probably, but
Sounds like no questions. Okay, in that case, Stuart, do you have your ice cream?
no, just give me a second. I'm just trying to refresh my weather. Ah, no, Big Gears decided it's not going to play well. Fuck.
What?
Big Gear just stopped on trying to refresh the weather.
That happens sometimes.
I'm having a gathering scenery this afternoon. At some points it were going down to 5 frame rates and back up to 30.
Near the cities.
I think, yeah, York and Hull are both quite bad if I remember rightly. But beautiful.
Hmm.
Right, shall we consider getting going?
No.
Yes.
I can't yet.
No? Okay, alright, wait.
I'm getting.
We'll wait.
Ready.
Rivet. Says finalising position.
You're getting froggy.
Rivet. 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 This started off looking so good tonight. Now it's just
And it still will. It's alright, we don't mind waiting.
I'm stuck on the loading screen. It's doing F all.
That's weird.
Because it loaded in fine when I loaded in initially. Oh, there we go. Not responding.
Just a question. What is supposed to be the weather preset?
Border of a high pressure region.
Alright, thanks.
Lovely weather we're having.
It's part of a high pressure region.
Oh, Stuart's in.
No, I'm not.
You're on the pilot list now.
Yeah, but I'm not actually in.
No, it's
He's gone now.
not. What is going on with you, mate?
It's fine this earlier.
Is Windows having an update or anything daft?
No.
There it is.
Like the landing gear structures on this helipack, so it's like it's moulded out of concrete.
Well, you never know.
Extra ballast, maybe.
Land at Elvington and see what the real one looks like.
Keeps you on even keel.
What was the time setting?
Straight up noon.
we'll be adjusting our en route speed to 160 knots. You know, no reason.
Right, taxiing out.
Can't take it any longer. When I see you, feeling scared and stronger. 'Cause I need you, girl, you know I want you. And I know I can't wait for another day.
Ready?
Oh, let's get out of here. Oh, she's swinging. Oh.
Girl, I want your love right now. Don't you give me love right now.
Are you off the ground yet, Alex?
Yeah, I'm off the ground. Looks like most people got up.
You may want to retract the gear.
Yeah, that might do. I'm too busy checking all of my friends behind me because I'm a nice person. Gonna make a right turn. We're gonna probably end up about 351, 352 degrees by the time we made a lazy turn. I'm going 160 knots and at 1200 feet. Okay, just level wings, 353 degrees, 1200 feet, 160 knots. Not bad, nice gripping.
Box formation for protection.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm in my tail gunner position looking at whoever's behind me and through the gun sights.
That's one of my favourite things about that length. The tail gunner position looks good. I do love the smoke effect from these cooling towers, even if you can see it from a million miles away.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't fly through that smoke.
still working nowadays then?
2 of them have gone. Ferry Bridge and Eggborough, I think they've been pulled down. I have. I was on a 2-seat competition in the glider we're trying to thermal over the top of Drax in the smoke. That is quite different. When you look down and all you can see is substations and high tension cables, if it all went tits up, you got nowhere to land.
Still don't get about the whole glider thing. I mean, what? Like, I've always fancied it. But the one thing that has kept me from being, like, you have a land away, right? So you just land in some person's field. How do you guarantee they're going to be able to come get you out?
If you're doing a cross-country flight, you're meant to arrange with some friendly person who's got your keys to come and rescue you. Or if it's a club glider and somebody lands in the field because they've got run out of altitude, somebody in the club will go and rescue you. And if you're on a 2-seat competition like we used to do, it used to be like 2 gliders from the club, so whoever got back first was the crew for the other one if they didn't get back. And I've done about 3 or 4 different retrievals on that competition.
This is where motor gliders come in handy.
Well, yeah. So you literally just have to hope that the farmer doesn't want to come and shoot you.
Well,
Thanks.
our glider I used to fly, it landed in the biggest turf farm in Yorkshire, right in the middle. And this was the turf growing for Wembley, and it landed right in the middle of the field. We had to walk in 2 footsteps and carry it out piece by piece.
Oh dear. Yes, Stuart. You eating my ice cream?
No, because I was just going to tell you there is no double cones available tonight.
Oh, what a Swiss!
She's offered to cram two scoops into a single cone for you.
Aye, that'll do.
Yeah, so the rule was if somebody came and rescued you, you had to buy them an evening meal or go to the pub.
Seems fair.
Yeah, so just coming up to Drax, so that's the one I flew above. And you don't fly above the cooling towers, there's no energy in the steam what comes off the cooling towers, it's the actual smokestacks.
And that works, does it?
Yeah, there's a lot of heat coming off it. There's a club at Burn which is very close to Drax, and they use it all the time. We're actually flying, coming up to it now, Burn. And they use it all the time, so they're used to doing it.
With all my senses and all my feelings and my
Yeah, Burn should be able to see just off my right wing at the moment. I don't know if you got the orthos on.
the water is turning red. I don't wanna be like a prayer on my knees.
Just the other side of those roads there. That was a base for Bomber Command. Started flying the Wellingtons first, and then they switched to Halifaxes later in the war.
There's an awful lot of airfields and they're all lined up similar, so if you have problems taking off at one place, you can land directly ahead at the next airfield to the north or south or east or west. I think Sherburn in Helmet, I think they used to make swordfishes there, telling us at the air show.
Yeah, I think that's one there, and then just ahead of that you got what is Leeds East these days, which used to be RAF Church Fenton, of course, which fly the Mosquito out of there and the Hurricane, I think. I did try and research all of the Bomber Command airfields from sort of Yorkshire down to middle of the country, sort of Cambridge area, but I stopped counting when I got to over 100, and I thought, yeah, we'll just see what we come across. Too many to plan for.
Although there must have been about 3 or 4 around York itself, but a lot of them have disappeared. They're actually in the middle of housing estates and industrial units now.
I think there's still about 3 around there. So as we get up there, I'll get through me notes. I've got notes, I'm a professional. Don't you lads think I just do this all off the cuff, you know? We are about 5 miles away from our first point, which is, I can see it's where F Tommel has just spawned. We'll go overhead that, but that is, what is the ex-RAF Ruffeth. There'll be quite a sharp turn as we go over that, and we'll turn to the right. Overhead
These
York.
don't do sharp turns.
There'll be a gradual turn to the right that will bring us onto a course.
Well, that's where I used to go gliding from Ruffeth, but the current layout is totally different to the wartime one. It was all really badly changed. All the control towers were all disappeared and stuff, and I think they used the other side of the airfield more than the current one.
Yeah, they split it into 2 after the war, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the other side of the airfield is microlights and autogyros now. It's a big centre for autogyros. And it was a racing circuit for sports cars in the 70s.
Yeah, we're just about to go overhead, so we are going to be making a right turn. If you've got the orthos, you can see pretty much the layout of the old place. You'll be able to make it out from above, but the turn's going to be somewhere around the region of 125 degrees. We're going to turn right to 125-ish, but by the time these things get round, we'll see what actually happens. Commencing turn now.
Yeah, this is the one I've been struggling trying to get the scenery to reflect what actually is in reality, and I couldn't manage to do it myself.
Yeah, it's not easy. Oh, they got a wheel in York these days, haven't they?
Yeah, in the city.
Yeah, I've never been to the train museum. I've never been to Jorvik either, which is a shame.
I've been to the train museum a couple of times. I went when I was a little kid when it just started, and I've been recently.
Looks like we'll just end up flying over the edge of Elvington here airfield down there.
Well, again, that's another one what's missing from flight gear.
Yeah, that's not in at all, is it? Originally I wanted that to be the turning point, but even though it has an ICAO, it doesn't work. Ruffeth, I was interested to read. They used to specialise in doing long range bombing with Halifaxes, flying all the way down to Italy where they used to bomb Genoa a lot. That must have been a hell of a journey.
Extremely boring.
Yeah, going all the way down there and back. They had a really high casualty rate, most of which actually ran out of fuel because it was so far and drift and whatever, and having to come back all the way across, well, all the way across France, didn't they?
Wow.
Yeah, somebody set a record for the gliding. He set off from Ruffeth and ended up somewhere halfway down France. At the old record. But the other thing now, Alex, is with gliding, if you got the money, you buy a turbo glider, what's got like a little pop-up engine. So it's like what we call an iron thermal. So if you're in a competition and it's going tits up, instead of landing in the field, you pop the engine, put it to a dive, and hope it starts, and then you get enough to crawl up to gain some height, then put it away, then crawl back home. So it saves a lot of hassle.
That require a different license.
No, because it's not self-launching. It's just it's a sustainer. It just gains a bit of height. You know, you sort of get back up to 2,000 feet or 3,000, and put it back away, then sort of glide back to your base. Hope you can find some lift in between. But if you're doing a competition, that's the end of your comp. But there is true motor gliders which have a bigger proper engine what pops up, and they can actually take off from a runway and land under power. But then you do have to have the PPG motor glider license. PPL, isn't it?
While I'd like to give gliding a go, and you know, I still believe it's probably, you know, the purest form of getting some proper flying skills out there, but it's so bloody expensive these days.
Need to go abroad to do it, Alex.
No, I'm just looking right now. Our local gliding club, Aerotow launched to 3,000 feet, £160.
Yeah, well that sounds dear because it never was that much. The thing is, normally you take an Aerotow, you won't go to 3,000 unless you were going after wave and you were going on a long tow to get to the wave, which could be a lot further west. Normally you would pull off at 2,000 feet, and if you get into some good lift you pull off early.
Aerotow launched at 2,000 feet, 120 quid.
That sounds expensive. It was about 10 years ago or more, and it was probably 30 to 50 quid.
Winch launch, £50.
That is over the top. That should be about a 5.
Just a big bungee.
Some places do bungee launches on the mountains. The best one I ever had, I took off, and it was with the weather being thunder clouds and stuff, and the showers, and it passed through, and it cleared up, and I took an Aerotow, and I pulled off at 1,800 feet, did 3 turns, and suddenly I'm up in the cloud. I got off the rocks, off the scale lift, 3 turns, and I got up to 3,000 plus. I had to fly around with air brakes open to stop me disappearing into the cloud. And, the lift was fantastic. It was 20 knot lift or something stupid.
And then they charge you per minute soaring charge. Is that
Yeah.
normal?
Yeah, if you fly a club glider, there's a minute flight rate, and but if you're flying your own personal gliders or you're in a syndicate, then that's free.
Yeah, it's 46p a minute according to this.
It's not too bad, to be honest, but them Aerotos sound very expensive.
According to this, the price list was last updated in 2021, so I imagine it's gone up a bit. And you have to pay membership of £370 a year, joining fee of 50 quid. Yeah, it's not far off cost of flying a fixed wing with an engine if you take out the fuel costs.
Well, I've just brought the York Gliding Centre where I used to go. It's 400 quid membership. 2,000 Aerotos is £31.50 for the Eurofox, which is like a macrolite. And if you go behind the pony, it's £38.50. And the Aerotos charge at £1.15 per extra 100 feet. A winch is 10 quid. And 50p in the DG 500. And 40p per minute in the older gliders, two-seaters.
Cyber, hit Shift D, open your bay doors, please.
Our next waypoint, which is in 4.5 miles, is Brough Aerodrome, which was where they used to produce Buccaneers, Harriers,
Frozen,
and
please. Cyber, close them again, please. Thank you.
No problem. Scenery looks amazing, by the way.
It's not bad around here. This little section of the Humber looks quite nice.
Especially since there's water there now. Wow.
Yeah, water.
And the bridge is in the right place and it's complete, not like last week where they were all halfway across the rivers.
Yeah, that's council cutbacks, you know. My councillor today asked me, Alex, whether the people from the council bin department a bunch of dicks with me or not.
And what did you reply?
I said they were okay when they came to see me, they weren't being a bunch of dicks, but
At least you're getting your bins collected now, that's the important thing.
yeah.
You've got to make a right turn to 152, sure. Turning right 152-ish.
I've not flown a Lancaster in about 5 years.
No, didn't we do a test? Oh, it might have been 5 years. Did we do a test when Timmy first did his Innsbruck scenery? I seem to remember some of the screenshots we took were in Lanc.
Can't remember. But that could have been 5 years ago, so that was all post-COVID.
Yeah, it could have been.
And actually, Timmy was around for about 7 years now, so. Because he came on board when I started doing the squirrel, and that was when I realigned my priorities.
Is anybody having frame rate issues? Mine's gone down to 5.
I'm 11.
Yeah, I'm at 8.
Mine
Seven.
fluctuates around 23 to 30.
I think they'll probably pick up a bit.
Yeah, it was this afternoon, but I didn't know whether it was my machine playing silly buggers again. I'm running out of memory with all this scenery. These M2 memory cards, these solid state ones, is there any problems? Because I've got 2 in at the moment. One's 1 terabyte, it's got the operating system on, and I've got a smaller one which is half a terabyte, and I'm thinking of upgrading that to a 1 terabyte one. Is there they do 2 terabytes? I didn't know if that would be a problem. It won't bloody work.
I don't think so. I think most motherboards support them quite well. I don't think you'd have a problem. If you're going to do upgrade, I'd strongly recommend using the Samsung software for M.2 drives. It does a brilliant job. You can literally just clone a drive and stick it back in and it works flawlessly. It's amazing.
Yeah, because my D drives, basically all it's got on is a few programs which can really install. It's basically got my X-Plane 11 installed, so it's not you getting used, but I don't really fancy installing it again. But I will try moving the scenery off onto a standard 3.5 hard disk, and it will take him bloody 20 minutes of bloody scenery file.
Yeah.
In the end I thought just delete them, it's just quicker to bloody recreate them again from scratch.
Yeah, it's not far off. No, I don't know what it is that's dragged the frame rates down to this on my machine. I'm not maxed out on anything at all.
Just before, I was playing on the 2020.4 and the whole game crashed. So I had to switch to 3.18 because on the 2020.4 my frame rate was around 10, 15, now it's stable 30. So I don't know what's wrong with the 2020.4 version, but it just kind of crashes in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I've had a few of them recently where it just dies a death.
That's interesting. I might consider switching back to an earlier version because I'm on 2020.4 and the frame rates in some places, like right now I've got 10. I've no idea why.
They changed the shaders in the later versions. They changed how the shaders work. I think that's something to do with it.
Yeah, but the difference is when I go, for example, solo in Alaska with photo scenery, the frame rate is just about 30, but now with multiplayer and I don't know how many, just under 10 people, the frame rate drops dramatically.
Yeah, they were doing that with me this afternoon, and I wasn't flying multiplayer, just me. And flying the route, it was just going down to, well, I had it down in some places to 4 frame rates, which is not good when you're coming into land.
Yeah, exactly. It probably has something to do with shadows or something, because on the 2020.318 there's no shadows, so less rendering load.
That's the compositor then. There's no compositor in the 2018 versions. There's compositor active in the 2020.4s. It's active by default, so that could drag the frame rate down because it's using active lights and shadows.
That looks like an old airfield we're passing over there with the perimeter. Can't see any remnants of it. But, well, no, just gone over. There's an interesting sort of perimeter-looking track around it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there is.
Really, how's your week been, mate?
okay.
Fuck, I can be more convincing than that.
There you go.
No, probably right.
Spending hours on the phone dealing with government entities and investment firms and banks and
Are you making some progress?
Oh, I'm making great progress. I'm getting lots done, but it's like it's just unnerving.
Yeah, it's got to be. But you know, take it for the progress it is.
Yep.
I've had two months of renting my mum's house out, taking all the stuff to charity shops, and that ain't any fun either.
Yeah, I've moved like 40 bankers boxes of clothes and another 12 or 15 bankers boxes full of food to the food bank, and just filled up trash cans full of old shoes and all kinds of stuff. It's a nightmare.
That's all good stuff, though. I mean,
keeps you busy.
Yes, positive points. That's really good.
Yep, keeps going. Gotta keep going. Got a chance to talk to a psychologist, grief counselor this week, so that was pretty cool.
And were they helpful?
Yes. I think I'm going to learn some tools to kind of help myself out here. Of course, you're looking for a big band-aid to make everything go away, and it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. But at least you're open to the fact that you're willing to look at tools. I think a lot of people go into that kind of stuff, saying, "Fix me," and they say, "No, can't do that. But I can give you some tools that will help you deal with it." At least you're, looking at it that way.
I'm just kind of winging my way through the thing, and basically got confirmation. Now that's what you got to do. That's what you're doing. Just one step at a time. Keep going. Try to keep in a routine. Don't start changing the times you go to sleep and the times you eat and the times you get up, and don't make any great changes. Just try to try to keep going.
Yep, that's it.
Luckily, and I include you guys in this, I have a hell of a support group, so FlightNight has become more, I mean, it's always been something important to me, but now it's like the 2 hours of the closest thing that approaches normal.
That's a good thing, but at the same time, it's, if this is normal, Jesus.
Just about to say that.
We don't do normal here.
There's no such thing as normal. Ever.
It's that special kind of normal.
Oh, we're so special.
It's the Abby normal.
Abby normal. It's routine. It's something I've done at the same time every Saturday for a long time with people that I like. So it's really just gives me something to look forward to, no matter what goes wrong or whatever. It gives me something to look forward to. A couple hours of hanging out with idiots.
I mean, like you wouldn't say love?
Yeah.
Push your luck.
No, it's okay. If he doesn't love us, that's fine.
Nice tight group. It's easy to get good video, especially when stuff looks this good and the aircraft look this good and they're close together.
Yeah, it was surprising what they did with these bombers, isn't it? It's like North Africa. They had to fly them all the way down to North Africa from
Yeah, it is
England.
some crazy thing. You know, I've been going through it. Strangely enough, I've been looking for a book to read. I've got loads of books. Most of my books are aviation and military history, I'll be honest. And I opened a book and I found that it must have been about 10 years ago. I put some pictures in there that I got from a family member, and it's some very distant relative. I know he was a navigator in the RAF, but it's some very distant relative standing by an aircraft type I don't recognise, and on the back all it says is Cairo, and you can see it's in some dusty place, so I've no doubt it's in Cairo. But I've been trying to identify this type and the person and why they were there and stuff. But I mean, looking at this rickety old aeroplane, and just thinking, Jesus, you flying that down to Cairo. I know Cairo's not that far in the grand scheme of things, but the thought of flying that to Cairo and back, and God knows what they had to do with them when they got there, that's quite a thought.
Yeah, I read a few books on the glider pilot regiment, and they had to fly some of these big gliders, tow them all the way to North Africa, and if say 6 of them set off, they lost a few on the way, and when they went down in the middle of Bay Biscay, and some of them wasn't rescued.
Yeah, that's not an enticing sounding journey, is it? That'd be torturous.
Yeah. And then the old famous Sicily campaign, where the American pilots dropped them all out short, so they all landed in the sea.
I saw one on D-Day where they put some bigwig in a glider, so then they said, well, to protect them, we're going to load it up with armor. As soon as they disconnected, they plummeted like a rock.
Yeah, I heard about that actually.
Wasn't that in the Saving Private Ryan?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Might have been. I can't remember. But anyway, we're going to whack the speed up a little bit. Can we whack the speed up to 180? Anyone got a problem with that?
Let it go. Let it rip, Chip.
180. Up we go. Woodall Spa. Yes. That's just passed off our right wing.
Went at the Dam Busters place, or one of them.
No, we just got Coningsby's about to come up on our right shortly.
The other daft one was, if you watch that Bridge Too Far, Browning, the general, he wanted to fly to be close, and him and all his staff took up about a third of the flight. And if that third of the flight had been used to drop troops and supplies, it would have been a totally different carry-on, maybe at Armand.
And I wonder who makes some of these decisions.
Well, he was just after the glory, He was, miles away from the action. He was, but he could have been in England for all the good he was doing.
Well, my things in the evening is watching documentaries just off of Amazon Prime. The one that's been fun lately has been World War II Diary. It's every day, one day at a time, from the beginning through the Battle of Britain and America entering the war and Germany deciding that they weren't going to play with the Russians anymore, and which is about where we're at now with it. But it's just every day, here's what happened in all these different theaters. It's amazing.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
On the WWII podcast, I just finished a series where it was on a Sunday morning, and it was like 20 minutes, and it was just half a dozen different people all do it, actors voicing what these people were writing in the diaries. And it was 1943, One guy was the captain of the Warspite, another one's an American general in the Pacific, and another one's a cipher clerk in the Middle East, and another guy's learning to be a navigator in America. And it was just going through all the various things they were doing.
Yeah, I've been listening to that. That's really interesting. I'll be honest, I got sidetracked a little bit. I've been listening to the Unconventional Soldier podcast, which is a little bit more modern. It's really good, but they generally bring on veterans who've written books or something like that on their stuff. There's stuff about it's worth looking up if you haven't seen it, the Unconventional Soldier. But yeah, there's Chinook crew member, and giving them details about what they did in Afghanistan, and Royal Navy clearance diver, and bomb disposal experts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But I'll have to get back on the We Have Ways thing, because I saw I'd like to go to the We Have Ways Fest thing, but the tickets are just slightly out of my price range at the moment.
Yeah, well, I've never been, but it's a bit of a trip to go, and I don't fancy camping out, to be honest. But they do show bits of videos of some of the talks and stuff on if you're a Patreon.
Yeah, I'm with you on the camping. Somebody asked me, you seem like you'd be a great camper. I said, my idea of camping is hanging out at the bar at the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, well, the problem is it's down at the Grand Prix circuit, and I'm guessing all the bed and breakfasts and all the motels will be all fully booked with people going.
Oh yeah, I hadn't considered that. But yeah, Voodoo, I'm with you on that. I like a little bit of camping, but give me a hotel any day of the year.
Yeah, well,
Don't like bugs where I'm sleeping.
well, we don't get that in England really. Last time I camped, we used to go from club. We used to go to Bisley for the annual rifle meeting, and I bought a little tent. And I got there. I took one of my proper, well, it's really a mountaineering sleeping bag I had when I was a kid. And I couldn't get in the bastard, so I had to go to bloody Argos and buy a new sleeping bag.
You guys don't really have anything that can eat you over there either.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but if you imagine, if you're staying at a campsite in the UK, you might have Stuart walking around.
You might bite, but you won't eat.
Depends how many rules you break.
There's a TV series on Sunday nights. It's shot in Canada, and there's all these no-opers being dropped into Canada, and they have 10 survival items. I think it's based on an American series already, but there's all these bears, and I'm just thinking, and there's nobody with them. I don't know how they would go. What would happen if a bloody grizzly? Is it a grizzly bear the worst one in America?
Oh yeah.
Because how can they guarantee they're only like brown bears or something? What if you shout at them, they run away?
There's brown bears, there's black bears, there's grizzly bears. In Alaska, in certain places there's like Kodiaks, and pretty much everywhere bears are top of the food chain. So if they're coming to get you, they're intending to eat you. Remember when they first discovered Mary Lewis and Clark were trying to get to just discovering what was going on, and we're amazed that a grizzly bear can chase a horse down.
And they can climb trees too, so you're not safe up there.
That's not, you're just done. If you piss them off, they're gonna kill you.
That DiCaprio film, what was it called, where he got mauled by a bear? What's it called? He was like a trapper, and he got.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I've seen bits of it, I haven't seen the whole film, I can't remember the name of it.
Well, they left him for dead, didn't they? He survived.
Oh yeah. Don't remember.
The Revenant.
That's it.
about 10 minutes to our halfway point.
Cool.
At least you don't have to watch out for hills around here, do you?
No hills around here. Well, I guess we're going over Lincolnshire and we're going into Norfolk now, I guess.
Oh, Norfolk Broads.
Yeah, Broad, Norfolk and Suffolk, I suppose.
We had one of them ospreys fly over the other day.
These things.
The bird or the airplane?
The aeroplane, you know, the like helicopter come plane.
Abomination.
Yeah, those are cool.
Every now and again we do get some interesting military planes flying overhead. Because a little bit away from where I live, it's like not built up, and they do fly overhead on the way to probably coming back from the lakes, probably going south.
They fly over with 2 T6s the last day. First time I've seen the Texans.
Could you tell what they were from the sound, or they just sound like turboprops?
Oh no, they're really, really high pitched, screaming turboprops. They're not like a Tucano at all. Very, very high pitched.
Get quite a few of them sort of things flying over as well.
Well, it's sad round here. We get Spitfires flying over all the time, which is a wonderful thing for people like me, because they come and do the flyovers of the White Cliffs and all that kind of stuff, and it's lovely for people. But you know, I always stop and look, and you can always hear them. But there was a couple flying over the other day, and I said to a neighbour, "Oh look, Spitfires." And they just nod. You know, it's where it gets so commonplace that they don't appreciate that having a 2 pair of Spitfires flying over twice a day is worth looking up at.
Jeez, how could that not be notable? It's amazing what people are not interested in anymore.
Yeah, you can rarely find someone interested in aviation these days, except in online communities like this.
And I've always been interested in aviation. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah, you do like aviation, but you also like helicopters as well. But we don't penalise that.
I'll take you for a flight someday.
Sounds like a threat.
Take it whatever you like.
Have they found Nessie yet, Stuart?
I haven't been following it.
For those that don't know, it's the largest Loch Ness Nessie hunt in was it 50 years?
Something like that.
Got 300 people all around the bank, supposedly taking viewings, and there's boats out and there's drones out with infrared cameras, hoping to catch sight of the Loch Ness monster.
Did somebody see something recently that instigated this, or are they just grasping at straws?
Well, no one's seen anything recently, as far as I'm aware.
300 people around the banks of the Loch Ness isn't really a lot for the size of the loch.
It's not really, is it? I did think that.
There's another monster in one of the big lakes in Russia, one what freezes over in winter.
Yeah, it's a family.
It's a big one. Have they decided what actually shot that Wagner bloke down? Because
well, I think we're all fairly well decided that Putin shot him down, but
There's something about apparently a case of wine was delivered to the aircraft last minute, and so far there's no evidence of any sort of missile.
actually the UK defence can identify the swirly trails of an intercept.
yeah, there's a Ukraine podcast I listen to by UK people who know about military history and stuff, and they were saying there were spotted trails from, and the plane was flying over a base, and it would have been a certain model of these surface-to-air missiles would have easily taken it down.
It has to be a big one though. It was flying at 28,000 feet. It's not.
Yeah, but I think it only took one engine out, and it was seen to spiral down.
Well, when the wreckage, the tail, the vertical stab, the whole tail section has been separated in one piece and landed further away from the rest of the wreckage, and then also they reckon the tail was blown off.
Yeah, my money would be on a bomb in the baggage compartment.
Actually, the UK analysis says no, because an internal bomb would have spread the wreckage out much further. The wreckage was all together except for the tail fin. It's the bit that's separated.
Well, they'll be able to tell whether it was internal or external, like you say, on the surface of the metal or on the inside there'd be...
Let's face it, there isn't going to be an investigation.
I was going to say, where did the aircraft land? Do you really think they're going to get an investigation there?
I'm sure he's going to do that to prove it wasn't him.
No, it's not.
I don't think people care if people thought it was him or not.
It doesn't matter.
Well, they've denied it, so it means it definitely happened.
Yeah, true.
Right, okay, we are 7 miles away from Lakenheath. We'll keep continuing until we can see it better, because if we all drift off now, I guarantee some people end up landing at Mildenhall, because it's not that far away.
There was one of them cartoon things on Facebook, and it was about B-17s, and this Messerschmitt 109 got shot up and then ploughed into it, took a big side out of the B-17, and the tail plane was flapping around in the air, and they managed to land it, and they rebuilt the damn thing and it was flying again.
Isn't that unbelievable? See some of this footage where these aircraft come in just shot to damn bits, and they still manage to land them.
Yes, this 109 actually crashed into the B-17, the rear fuselage, and took one side of the tailplane off. The rest of it was just flapping around in the wind.
Right then, do we all see the airfield ahead of us?
I've seen something, I don't know what the hell it is yet.
I see the light. Do you see the light?
I see it now.
Echo Golf Uniform Lima.
Yeah,
Try to land straight in.
No, I think the main runway is probably going to be directly across our path, isn't it?
Yes.
I think the other one's not going to be usable, so what I'll do is I'll make a run in. Looks like the wind's going to be in from the east, so make a turn to the right, and then we'll come back in and land and find somewhere to park and have our break. Land at will, just make it pretty.
Where is he?
He's to the left. There's only one runway.
Oops, I screwed up.
I had that.
I broke my aeroplane somehow.
Oh no, how did you do that?
I don't know, it just didn't want to fly anymore. That's annoying.
On finals.
There's only one of them. Who left all this luggage around? Oh wow.
I'm down on the center line as well. Look at that. Perfect.
Hercules down there.
Looks like it.
We'll go park next to that.
Going across the grass.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, we lost somebody. We lost poor Kay.
I'm gonna restart my flight gear, see if I got some better frame rates.
Crashed again. I'm on 3.18.
Cutting across the grass over there. I'm gonna park over there by Steve.
Someone's going cross country.
That's me. I said I was gonna cut across the grass.
No. Somebody's head first into the trees there. That was a spectacular crash. Wish I had my video running.
The weather saying just gave me a complete fucking whiteout.
Oh, Flash has gone to Mildenhall. Found some F-15s over here.
That's nice. I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back.
Me too.
Yep, have a break. We'll depart in about 4 minutes.
Where are you going to start from, Alex?
I'm going to go down the opposite end of the runway we just landed on with it.
I'm back.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back.
I was just going to check my fuel and I thought, no, I don't need to bother with this thing, can fly for 7 hours.
Yeah, well, on the way, on this first leg, mine ran out of fuel after 43 minutes. So.
Yes, you used Elijah's one,
Yes.
which is tiny little fuel tanks in it.
I've came in.
It's a bit of good planning for safety. Lake and Eve Senior High School, right at the end of the runway.
I'm back.
Yay!
Yay!
I've restarted it using the older version, well, the normal release of flight gear, and I'm getting 30 frame rates where I was getting 5 when I was trying to land.
Yeah, but you don't have any shadows or anything, do you?
Well, I'm not particularly bothered as long as it flies okay.
FKBRB. Back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. So, second half, I've changed to a Lancaster. So, look out for that. I'm in the one with the FGUK livery. Currently at the front of the left.
Excuse me. I had
Yeah.
the FGUK livery first. Fuck off.
Okay, as has been kindly pointed out by Stuart, that livery was taken. I'm now going to select a different one.
So in other news, there's a Northern Soul night at the Proms tonight. But Wartessa is recording it for me.
Okay.
Northern Soul.
It was a thing, really.
Coney's put it together, and they're doing something on the radio in a bit where they're doing an all-nighter on the radio.
That's right.
Radio 6.
Right, we are going to be taking off, heading east to the coast. Basically, we're going to do a little bit more of flying in a wibbly wobbly dramatic fashion. 2,500 feet, 160 knots. All the other settings remain the same. Watch out, looks like there's some wires ahead of us that could be fun. We're going to end up at Manston later on, so let's go and have a fly around the coast and see what we can find.
What altitude again, sir? I'm sorry.
2,500 feet. Let's get going.
Free at last from the tyranny of matter.
Once we're all gracefully in the air, I'm going to... Oh, where are those wires? Were those wires there when we landed?
No, that we're right them because we came here.
Erected.
Alex, why are you going so slow?
Oh, hang on, I've had some sort of issue.
Moving again?
No, my flight gear's jammed of some sort.
Put mine on pause, so we'll see what happens.
Free at last from the tyranny of matter.
No, you get going, I'll catch up.
Oh, where am I going?
Where are we going?
East coast.
So get up and turn 90.
Yeah, do that.
Roger that. Thank you.
Forever crossing the threshold.
Turning 60 knots, climbing to 2,500 feet, turning left. Excuse me, turning 90 right now.
I have made it up. Who's got the yellow smoke on?
Me.
Okay, I will. I'll come alongside you, and then everyone can follow us.
Or you're back in the air.
Yep, just off to your left.
I see no yellow smoke anywhere.
It's behind you.
Oh well, fuck. Right, 160 knots, 090 degrees, holding heading, holding altitude at 2,500 feet.
Bye-bye.
Waiting for the slow arses to catch up.
Glad to hear it.
Free at last from the tyranny of matter.
having a look at some information about the Liberator. They said they had to fly around when the bomb days open because it used to leak fuel everywhere.
It was a death trap.
And
The fuel tanks were on the ceiling.
How about the hurricane
So-
where they were right in front of the pilot?
Yeah, when the Liberator, the fuel tanks are above the crew and the fuselage, and when it gets strafed, all the fuel used to leak down onto the crew, so it became a death trap if you had a small fire.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I read a thing about a Liberator crew that had exactly that problem in it must have been flying it over Japan or something like that, maybe in a China way, and ended up crashing it in a paddy field because they didn't want to fly back covered in fuel.
Oops.
Slow to 140 knots, let you catch up.
It's very kind of you, thank you.
watching one of these black and white documentaries about aviation stuff in China, and they were showing how the Chinese built these airfields for the Americans in the war, and they had to do it all by hand, and they basically dug by hand about 12 foot of the soil to make it level runway, broke all the rocks up, and to mark how much work they did, they all left like a column inside of them to show how much they cleared. And as when they got it finished and ready to be used, the Japanese turned up, so then the Americans just blew it up with bombs.
What was that you were watching? I'm not seeing much on Chinese aviation in that one.
Well, it were it was a film channel, one of these great movies, and there's all these very black and white, cronky old things, and it was like aviation in Japan. But it was just showing these black and white films of them building this runway by hand. Just all they had was a wicker basket and a bloody hammer. And they were literally digging down into the rock to make it level.
There's an airfield below us, Alex.
Indeed, there is. Well spotted.
We just passed RAF Arlington.
No, this is Nettis Hall. RAF Nettis Hall was home of the 388th Bombardment Group of the 8th Air Force between 1943 and 1945. Closed in 1957.
Is that new series when it comes out, Masters of the Air?
It's been in production for a while, hasn't it?
What speed
That's
did you
all
say you're
based
going,
in-
Stuart?
I'm now back at 160 because I saw you behind me.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's Americans in the UK. And
Oh, you're way back there again. Jesus.
No, just stay there. I'll find you. Just quit changing shit. How you doing on speed, Alex?
I'm dead on 160. I'm just off to everyone's right slightly. I'm edging my way back.
right. Fall in on flight leader. Slowing down.
Walking through the city tonight, passing bars ahead and behind, oh Lord, has this ever been real? Everything is blurry inside my head, all this dying to despair. I'm not the only one who's sad. Somewhere deep inside my head, I see your lips and cherry red, standing in the crowd. A melody makes feel last one, bathing in that spotlight sun, cheering it out loud.
He's ain't caught up yet.
He ain't gonna catch up. He's only going 160 knots. You're gonna have to find him.
Bloody amateurs.
Supposed to fall in on flight leader, Bubba.
Flight leader fell out of the sky.
Flight leader did not fall out of the sky. Technical issue.
No. Oh.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I've restarted using flight gear 3.18 and 30 frame rates. And it looks okay on the ground.
Do you have any effects?
Yeah, and where we took off from looked perfectly fine. What effects should I be missing?
I don't know.
Shadows, dynamic light.
Yeah, the shadows are.
You have no shadows or dynamic lighting.
I think I can live with that. Without that. Did you say the airspeed is 180 or 160?
160 is target.
160, we're all getting there.
There appears to be an airliner with the group. How the hell it's flying this slow, I've no idea.
An Airbus 320. Makes a change from Revenex flying his F-15.
Over Onyx.
Yeah, him as well.
Him too.
That's alright, an A320 will fly at 160 knots.
They're more maneuverable than on these as well.
These bus pilots won't understand World War II aircraft. Lots of twiddly knobs that need to be changed.
What, they have different autopilots, do they?
Fair enough.
Didn't realise we were a historic event, but there you go.
Well, we're definitely an event, and everything we do is bound to be recorded in history in some way. Or a court journal.
Or an accident report.
Taken down to be used against us later in a court of law.
The fields look awesome. Really.
So what do you know about this airfield, Alton?
Oh, loads. No.
Loads, not.
Looks like it's a solar farm now.
Actually,
Yeah, that's one of the things I know.
He's Googling really fast now.
I know lots of stuff, not about this, but
It was actually called RAF Wickenby, despite being Halton these days. Halton Airfield, and it was home to 12 Squadron in Wellington from 1942, and then from 42-43 to the Lancaster.
This area is, if you've got the money, you can just buy yourself one of these disused airfields and make it into your own private strip.
There's loads of farm strips around here, and to be honest, there's so many farm strips around the country. The only problem is that a lot of them, you know, they're not designed for the type of aircraft that people tend to fly in as fixed-wing pilots around here.
Well, I had a few trips in motor gliders, and it just seemed to be, once you got your licence, you used to go somewhere, have a coffee and come back.
Yeah, that's why for me, I quite like the idea of farm strips and things like that, but a lot of clubs won't let you use their aircraft to go into unlicensed strips, and you know, you don't really want to be taking a Cessna 150 or a PA-28 into anywhere that's got 3 inches of grass on it, because you'll get in trouble. We're going to follow the coast, so we'll land once we're overhead and enjoy the scenery. That's now.
South or north?
South.
turning right.
All right. There's a pier down there.
Yeah, Southwold apparently. I don't really know anything about Southwold.
South of Lowestoft.
Apparently that airfield we flew over a minute ago is, they make microlights there. A company called Thruster.
Hardly a good name for a microlight, isn't it?
Depends who you're trying to impress. Would you like to go on my thruster?
You get a slap for that.
Indeed you would.
Oh, no, wait, I'm a pilot.
Get a slap for that. Seeing as we're all relatively close together, should we bump the speed up a little bit?
Do that.
Go up to 185 or 185 knots.
185.
Who do you hear from Gary at all recently?
Not for at least a month.
Well, as long as he's still out there.
He's still out there.
He hasn't been eaten by an alligator then?
That I know of.
Oh, they wouldn't eat him.
Didn't you say that alligators climb up trees and drop down on people?
That's terrifying.
Above all,
Oh, hang on. I was in a shop the other day. We dodged into a shop. It started raining out of absolutely nowhere. It just started absolutely throwing it down with rain, and we dodged into a bookshop to get out of the rain. So we weren't dressed for rain. And first thing I did, to try and look busy, like I was paying interest in the shop, was pick up a joke book. And the only joke I managed to see before I got told to put it down was what do you call an alligator wearing a vest?
we don't know.
An investigator.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's why Kaylee told me to put the book down.
Put the book down and step away from the shelf.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
We're doing well nowadays to have a town where there's bookshops.
We've got the Scottish Book Town just a few miles from us.
Oh, we got loads of bookshops around here. There's one bookshop in town. It's crazy. I took Andy there when he came to stay a month or so ago, actually, and it's purely military history, aviation, transport books, and it's a big-ish bookshop, but it's run by this man. It has been run by him since I think the 70s. And when I say there's books piled floor to ceiling, I mean you have to step over piles of books that are like waist height, knee height, just to get around. There is nowhere, there's enough room for one person to sort of walk through these tight corridors. You know, before he started piling books, there'd probably have been a gap between the shelves of 5 feet maybe, but now it's just, you've got to sort of tuck yourself in. It's one person wide and there's just books absolutely everywhere, but he's got amazing selection of books. They're quite expensive, they're not cheap, but I would imagine if there's any book anyone's looking for on military history or aviation, he will have a copy in there somewhere. It's brilliant. It's good to have locally, but like I say, not one you pop into to get things cheap.
Sounds like my living room in Den.
As life goals, I'm trying to get there. I've got a couple of I've got a bookcase full of aviation and military history books, but not quite managed to fill the house yet.
I don't know how many tote bags and boxes of books I've taken to my sister-in-law. She's all into books. She takes them, stuff that she doesn't want or has already read. She takes them to this place across the river. It's a book club and gets credit for them.
Oh, so they let you take books and then you can get other ones in return?
Well, I'm emptying out books that my wife has saved for decades. And I mean, some of them are hardbacks, some of them are paperbacks, and I mean, the whole Harry Potter series still wrapped up in plastic and stuff.
I've got a few books from when you do your shopping in the supermarket. There's a table with a couple of trays with books in. A lot of times it's all just fiction books, but I've picked up quite a few military ones, and it's just like £1. And I've taken loads of books and just put them in.
Yeah, there's one of those at our local Tesco. It's generally, I don't know why. I don't know why it is, but normally there's a load of, you know, I'll call it ladies' fiction books. It's, you know, kind of fiction books that ladies would read, and then there's that kind of thing. And then there's normally about 5 copies of 50 Shades of Grey in there as well.
Yes, but I got quite a few Anthony Beaver books, you know, of Stalingrad and D-Day and stuff, and some unusual sort of military books. So one of them, it was like World War II in pictures, all black and white pictures from different campaigns. That would quite good for £1.
Yeah, can't moan at that.
Our laundry has been turned into an unofficial book exchange.
A book exchange, that's a nice idea.
Does it make money?
Somebody hasn't. No, it's a book exchange. People go in and leave one book and lift the other one off with it. But somebody hasn't quite grasped the idea because they left 2 DVDs instead.
People do that, I suppose. I mean, yeah. I guess people probably have DVD players in their camper vans and stuff, don't they?
Somebody's beeping and somebody's going to run out of fuel.
No, the beeping was my ice machine behind me.
Oh, right, your ice machine. I see.
Yes, the ice machine.
You're too decadent. There's a couple of old red phone boxes in villages around where they made them into like mini libraries.
That's cool. Most of them around here are defibs, which is, you know, good. Can't complain at that.
You're reading a horror story.
I don't think my frame rates have gone above 10 all night.
Mine's 30 at the moment.
11.
13.
So
There we go. It's gone up to 11 now.
Wait, dropped to 29.
Well, it just shows to show if you want real-time lighting and shadows, it does have a draw on your system.
I know, but it says it's got a draw on the system. Why is it not using the system resources then? Everything's pegged at 16, 17%.
Because it's flying gear and it's probably badly coded.
I wouldn't mind if it was these kind of frame rates and then, you know, my system was at 80% CPU usage or whatever, but it's not. So my argument is use the fucking resources that are there and give me better frame rates.
Yeah, we have threaded optimization, but FlightGear doesn't use it.
Well, this afternoon.
Or it doesn't appear to.
I think there's a command for multi-threading. I had it on my console.
Yeah, I think you need to do it at the
I
the
think
thing,
so.
don't you need to tell it to use it?
I did.
The multi-threading is active anyway in the past couple of years. You shouldn't need to do anything to it.
Yeah, but if you activate it and you're running flight gear and you look at it, it's not multi-threading. It's only using one core.
Yeah, well, this afternoon when I was on the 20.4, it was maxed out on the 3D GPU. I just checked it now and it's down at 35%.
But you're not doing real-time rendering of light and shadows. That's why.
Yeah, well, as I say, it
You
looks
don't
good
have any
enough.
eye candy. Because somebody used to tell me, well, you know, if you turn off all your particles and you turn off all your clouds, and I go, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, let's just turn everything off, shall we?
Yeah, turn it all off and you got stickmen going, beep-a-do-be-dee-ba-doo.
It's just your 3D wireframe mode.
Okay, it knows I'm watching it because I'm looking. It's now. I've now got it pegged. I don't know what. It must have got offended that I talked about it, but I'm looking at a nice OSM town, whatever it is, below me here, and it's at 30 frames a second, which is what I've capped it at. So it must have.
Yeah, I'm
heard
doing
me.
the same thing. If you look down, it's 30. It's when you look off into the horizon, it changes.
No, I'm looking up at everything. It seems fine, but yeah, it's only using 16% of my CPU, 30% of the memory, and GPUs. Yeah, it's barely using it at 38%. I just wish it used more of what's available. You don't buy all this hardware and then not have it used.
Well, I'm now at 25 FPS.
I'm still at 11.
Oh, here, wait a minute. Why the hell is this recording?
What?
Hmm?
Yeah?
I just noticed my machine was recording to the hard drive. I don't know how long he's been doing it for.
No, that's going to suck to be.
Ah.
Just filled your hard drive with shit you didn't want.
Probably.
It's really incredible how the OSM sceneries, the buildings are so accurate. Quite awesome.
Yeah, the scenery below me right now is awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of echo.
Okay.
Echo.
Echoey?
In order to avoid a long water overflight, we will, I think, land at Southend for the finish of this evening.
Southend?
Yeah. Apparently, Southend still has its underground defence control room.
Well, a few of them still do. They're just usually overgrown.
And there are still about 50 pillboxes around the airfield that exist, designed to protect it from paratroopers.
Listened to a podcast and they were trying to find these territorial bunkers in the New Forest, and there's still loads of them just out there full of explosive.
There's still one round here because a few years ago, actually a history group I used to be part of found in the cliffs at behind New Haven, they found what was the control centre for the Dieppe raids and things like that. And apparently there's loads of stuff back there. There's miles of tunnel and things, but there's one apparently that was used for D-Day down in the Cookmere Valley, down by the Seven Sisters Cliffs around here, that they've been trying to find since about the 70s, and supposedly it was all bricked up. You know, the usual story, but apparently there is actually an official document that says it was all bricked up in the state it would have been, but the location on the documents doesn't exist, and they've been trying to find it ever since. They found one entrance to one of the nearby ones, but they've tried to trace the big one, and apparently they can't find it. There must be loads of stuff like that still around the countryside.
Of course, it's different. Not everything was written down and documented in case there was an invasion. That anybody would have the documents to find the stuff, wouldn't they?
Did I tell you last week about the mustard gas?
Was this a cooking problem, or?
No, we're watching. You know when you watch a program you recorded and it finishes, and then there's some program on the TV which you wouldn't normally watch. It was one of these things through the daytime, and it's like different things like ambulance and police and stuff. Anyway, some people who were into collecting stuff for the World War II found 16 canisters of mustard gas in this wood, and instead of reporting it, they threw it into this lake. And somehow, I don't know how police got to know about it, but the Navy clearance divers turned up and they sampled the water, and it was like a biohazard. So they had to get an underwater remote camera to do the surveying of the lake to find these 16 canisters, then recover them and dispose of them. And these 3 people what found them, all they had to do was just leave them where they found them and report them. I found some strange canisters in this wood. But they both 3 of them got sent down for it.
Crazy, isn't it? You think of the damage they could have done if they'd done, if the people had been swimming around there or whatever.
Well, it was toxic. It said, the Navy divers couldn't go in the water. That's why they had to get this underwater remote camera to do the surveying to find where they were dumped.
Can we say dumb as a box of rocks? Why would someone do that? It's just, like finding a box of grenades and taking it home and putting it in the recycling bin. Why would you do that?
Well, there used to be lots of that, kids finding grenades, and they were real ones.
Still finding them everywhere.
Into that trench off where you live, Stuart, what's full of God knows what, going across to Ireland, where they dumped everything after the war.
It's called Beaufort's Dyke, and there's 1 megaton worth of unexploded ordnance in it.
And that's where Boris Johnson wanted to build his bridge.
Yeah, it's a wise choice, that.
As long as he can do the first, putting his shovel and pick and shovel into it.
Well, if Jeremy Corbyn hadn't buried it all there. We'd all have free broadband by now.
Oh, there's everything down there. It's mustard gas, chemical weapons, torpedoes, shells, mortars, bombs.
Well, off Northern Ireland, there's about 150 U-boats.
Yeah, some of them were stationed here before they towed them. Or docked up in the water in front of me here.
Oh yeah, I think you've sent me some pictures about it.
Yeah.
edge inland slightly. We should be able to see Southend Airport.
An airport right here. Is that Southend?
Yeah, this is the one. We circle round them coming from the north side.
Echo Golf Mike Charlie or the other one?
Oh, there's two. Yeah, Echo Golf Mike Charlie, that should be London Southend. Going on runway 24.
Final.
Landed successfully.
That's all we ever ask. Go off to the left and park in front of the terminal. dear, who crashed?
These things are horrible, aren't they?
And apart. Alex, how's the FGR2 FTM? Did you test it on a blower?
No, I tested it. It was good.
Within limits or not?
I think it's probably within limits, given what we can do and what we've got. I think it's within limits. Yes, very good. There's a lot that we're not going to be able to put in any versions in the next 5 years. So yeah, boundary layer and all that sort of thing is probably beyond us at this point.
I don't know, the original Buccaneer had blown flap systems and nasal, so we can use that, adapt it on.
Yeah, wasn't that JSP?
No, it wasn't.
We need, yeah. I'm reading through the manual again. It's been a while, but yeah, I had forgotten just how complex an aircraft it was in terms of systems and things.
I think part of the problem with that landing, the gear was up.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
I'm not saying it was a great landing, but with landing gear it could have worked even better.
Yeah, it's always nice to find ways that could improve for next time.
I'll make a note of that. Flaps are all okay.
Now I have to spend ages putting all this shite fucking pedals and stuff away.
I think you meant to say thank you for the interesting flight.
Alright.
But you put it. Oh wow, the A320 came as well.
Thank you for the fascinating flight, Alex. Thank you for all your hard work and leadership. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was real fun.
Oh, everyone, thank you for coming along. There wouldn't be any point to doing this if we didn't just have a load of people talking shit at each other for 2 hours.
Got next week.
Who has got next week?
I'm going to Wardy grabs him if nobody stands up.
Oh, go on, I'll do it.
What, is Alex voting again?
I will take it again. I've already got an idea. I think it'll be fun or it'll be chaos.
It could be both.
Okay, I'll do the one after that.
Look at you.
Good stuff.
You guys are the best.
I won't be here for the one after that.
Who's going to be?
Well, you'll miss a massive amount of fun.
I should hopefully be away watching real ones.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hopefully. If all goes to plan, it could all fall in disaster, but we'll see. The air show might not be successful. I don't know. We'll see.
Is
Try
that,
to work.
Is that the one with the umbrellas and the cagoules?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
All right,
Well,
fine.
we'll see.
I'm gonna kill the movie. Say goodnight, kids.
Good night, movie.
Night, everyone.
Night,
Good night.
everyone.
Bye.